What is up, yo? It's your girl Blessing. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. So today we're diving into a topic that is so near to my heart, and that is healing from heartbreak. And listen, if you clicked on this video, I already know you're either in the middle of it or you're still carrying some wounds from the past. So today I want to share with you 5 steps that literally changed my life when it came to healing. Grab your tea, grab your journal. We're going there right now. I remember after my breakup, I was so drained, and it wasn't even just from a relationship ending. It was the after part, the endless replaying of what happened, the late night scrolling, the pretending like I was fine during the day. I felt like I was carrying a weight everywhere I went. And the crazy part, I thought if I just kept moving, the pain would magically disappear. But it didn't work like that. One thing about healing is that healing is active and is intentional, and I had to learn that through trial and error. So if you're ever in that space right now, sis, take a deep breath, because it's not always going to be like this. Step 1 is feel it and don't fake it. Now the first step is letting yourself actually feel. I know we don't like this part. We'd rather distract, cover it up, or slap it on the I am fine face, but pretending only delays healing. I used to wake up and put on the strongest face, like go to work, laugh with people, post cute selfies, but inside I was falling apart. And then one day I realized that God cannot heal what I refuse to reveal. Now we see in the Bible where Jesus wept, and even he didn't bypass grief, so why should we? I had to give myself permission to cry, to write messy prayers, to tell God how unfair it felt. Sometimes I would literally lay on the floor and just let it out. And you know what? God didn't turn away, he met me there. So sis, if you're in that season, stop punishing yourself for feeling broken. Cry if you need to. Journal until your hand cramps up. Pray even if it's just, Lord, I am hurting. The truth about healing is that healing starts with honesty, and God isn't scared of your tears. He bottles every single one. We see this in the book of Psalm 56 verse 8. Step number 2, you gotta cut the ties that keep you stuck. This one hurt, but it was necessary, so stop rehearsing the past. For me, that looked like deleting old messages, unfollowing on socials, and definitely shutting down the what if loop in my mind. Sometimes I catch myself going back to the old conversation, rereading texts, looking at pictures, replaying voice notes, and clinging to the memories as if holding on will bring the person back. And of course it did not. And one day God checked me and asked me, do you want healing or do you want history? You cannot heal in the same place you were broken. I had to start cutting those ties, and it felt like ripping off a bandage. It was painful at first, but it was freeing in the long run. Here's the truth. Letting go isn't just about people. Sometimes you have to cut ties with the habits, the playlists, or even the environments that trigger old wounds. For me, that meant swapping sad song for worship, replacing line scrolling with reading psalms, and avoiding spaces that put me back into the old cycle. Now, when I finally released the hold, I created a space for God to feel it, and that's when I realized that holding on to the past only delayed the future He had for me. Step 3 is rebuilding who you are. Now, here's what no one tells you. Heartbreak doesn't just end in a relationship, it can blur your identity. Heartbreak will make you lose yourself. I remember when I lost me, I had to take intentional steps to know me again. And the way I did this was by leaning into the things I enjoyed doing as a child. Childhood me loved to write, to journal. I had notebooks full of quotes and thoughts I loved to read. And so I went and bought books that inspired me again. I love to debate. So if you're struggling to rebuild, go back to the childhood you. Ask people who know you the best what lifts you up, then lean into things that you loved to do when you were younger. Slowly but surely, I started doing the things that felt like me again, and that's how you rediscover who you are. Step 4 is lean into a safe community. I know the temptation is to isolate, but isolation will amplify the lies in your head. I remember when I felt inadequate and unqualified, I would deliberately dim my light so others could shine. That's how broken I felt, to be honest. But leaning into my community changed that. Where my sister would remind me of who I was. She did pull out stories of when my wisdom and strength showed up. She did call me God's masterpiece and a light that cannot be dimmed. And then there were my friends who laughed so hard, making funny reels or sending each other memes. Even in heartbreak, they helped me remember the funny free side of me. So I say this to say that you have to lean into the people who know you well. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your struggles. They're going to remind you of who you are when you forget. So don't isolate yourself. Healing happens in a community setting too. Step 5 is redefine the story with God. Now, This is the final step and honestly the most important. Let God be the author of your healing story. Invite Him into your pain, even the places you didn't know were broken. I know in today's world, the first advice is to go to therapy. And don't get me wrong, therapy is powerful, but there's also a free way to heal, and that is letting God be your therapist. Look at David. He would cry, complain, question God, even say things like, "Why have you forsaken me?" In today's language, you might call him dramatic, but God called him a man after his own heart. Why? Because David was vulnerable. God wants our realness, not our fake perfection. I learned to be a child before God, telling Him exactly how I felt, questioning, crying, but still staying in His presence. And He healed me in layer. Psalm 34 verse 18 says that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and I believe He knows how it feels because His Son died too. Let God write your story, and I promise you will not be disappointed. I have a bonus tip for you guys, and God's love is greater than any kind of love you can ever feel in this life. No love you crave for or lost is bigger than the love of God for you. That boy who broke your heart, that friend who betrayed you, that dream you think is dead, let it go and let God hold you. He will love you back to wholeness, and when He does, you won't even recognize the girl that you used to be. And that's it. Those are the 5 steps that helped me heal. Feel it, cut the ties, rebuild, lean into community, and rewrite the story with God. Listen, your heart may be broken right now, but it won't always be. You're going to laugh again, you're going to love again, and you're going to live free again. And if you take these steps, release the past, cut the ties, rediscover yourself, and lean on community, and also let God author your healing, I promise you, you won't just survive this season, you'll come out stronger, softer, and more like the woman God has designed you to be. It is just the beginning of a new chapter.